Hello students, welcome to my channel Omni Gyan. The topic that we are going to learn today is a beautiful poem by William Wordsworth, and the name of the poem is The Solitary Reaper. And this is meant for class 10 under Meghalaya Board of School Education, but if anyone outside this particular state board you have this topic in your syllabus, you may as well study and watch the video today. So let us start. We will begin straight away with stanza 1. So the lines here are: behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself, stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. So this is stanza 1, and let us look at the explanation of stanza 1. So the explanation here says that in The Solitary Reaper, that is in the poem The Solitary Reaper, a young Highland girl, she is a young girl, and she is reaping alone and singing to herself while she works. So this girl is alone and she is working in the field, and she is also singing a song while she is working, right? So the poet who was passing from that way, by that way, he suddenly heard the song of this girl, and he stood there, and he liked the music, the tune very much. And the poet asks all of us, that is the readers also, as well as the passers-by also, to listen carefully, because the whole valley is filled to overflowing with the sound of her singing. The whole valley, the whole area, the whole atmosphere is filled with her beautiful song, her melodious voice, and the song that she's singing is so beautiful that the poet is telling everyone to listen very carefully to her song. The passers-by are invited to either stop and listen to her sad song, or to gently pass by so as not to disturb her. So at the same time, the poet is requesting the passers-by, that means the people who are passing by, coming and going. The poet is requesting the passers-by that please either you stop, either you stop here and listen to her song, or you gently pass by and do not disturb her. So if you want to stay and listen to her song, please stay and listen very carefully. And if you do not want to listen, you may walk away, but do not disturb the girl, as she is singing a very beautiful song, and any disturbance might stop her from singing the song, right? Then we move on to stanza 2. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the furthest herb reeds. Let's move on to the explanation. Now the poet goes on to say that no nightingale is a singing bird, so no nightingale ever sang a more welcoming song to bands of tired wanderers in an Arabian desert. Desert, all of you know, and all of you know the atmosphere of a desert. It is very hot, and you don't find water or trees in desert under the shade of which tired travelers can take rest, right? So the poet is trying to say that The famous songbird nightingale also cannot produce such soothing, such a relaxing effect on the tired travelers in an Arabian desert that this melodious voice of this girl can produce. So the poet in one way, compares the nightingale to the Highland girl and says that the Highland girl is much more melodious than the nightingale. So it is a Highland girl. Okay, this girl is actually the voice of the girl, the music of the girl is actually the best one. Okay, even the nightingale, this particular bird also is not so melodious as the girl, right? So even the nightingale also cannot produce such beautiful effect, such soothing, such relaxing effect that this girl can produce to the tired wanderers, the tired travelers in an Arabian desert. Okay, right? So which desert? It is Arabian desert. Okay, then moving on, the poet asserts that the beauty of the girl singing exceeds that of the cuckoo bird. So there are two birds mentioned here in the second stanza. One is the nightingale and another is the cuckoo bird. The poet even goes on to compare with the cuckoo bird, which generally sings, which is again a songbird, and it generally sings in the springtime. And the poet says that Highland girl can sing even better than the cuckoo bird too. So if you compare both nightingale and cuckoo bird, both these birds actually will be quite inferior, will be quite will not be able to produce such a beautiful effect that the melody, the voice, the beautiful music, the tune of that Highland girl can produce. Okay, so together with nightingale and cuckoo also, the Highland girl stands much more superior, right? Okay, her singing, that is the Highland girl's singing, her singing is also the only thing which breaks the silence of the seas among the Hebrides Islands. Okay, so the Hebrides Islands that you find near the seas, her singing is so melodious that it has also spread in the lonely islands. Okay, in the lonely Hebrides Islands along the seas. Okay, generally islands are solitary places, lonely places where people do not live. Okay, so that lonely island is filled with the melodious music of the girl. Okay, say this is the island. Okay, so it's lonely, there's no one staying there, only few plants, trees. Okay, right? So in this island also, the music of this girl has spread so beautifully that it has broken the silence, of the seas among the Hebrides Islands. Okay, and what are Hebrides Islands? The Hebrides are a group of islands, in fact the inner and the outer Hebrides. Okay, which is found in the northwest coast of Scotland. So Hebrides you will find in the north west coast of Scotland. So you'll find these islands in Scotland, right? Let's move on then. I hope you have understood. Let's move on then. Okay, stanza 3. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy far off things and battles long ago, or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again? So here actually the poet begs someone to tell him what the girl is singing about. That means the poet has not understood the meaning of the song. Okay, the lyrics. The poet has not understood the meaning of the lyrics. Okay, so even without understanding, the poet is now telling everybody that though I am loving the music very much, but I am unable to understand the meaning. So can somebody tell me, he is telling the people around, can somebody explain me the meaning of the song? Okay, so he begs, someone to tell him the meaning of the song that the girl is singing, but nobody gives him an answer. So when he does not find an answer, receiving no answer, he muses that, he thinks that perhaps she is singing about old sorrows or battles of long ago, or more mundane concerns. Okay, that means the poet is now guessing. I hope you know what are guesses. Okay, the poet is now wildly guessing that because I did not understand the meaning, the lyrics, the meaning of the lyrics. So from the tune, from the tune of the girl, from the tune of the song, I can guess that perhaps not. He is not sure. That is why perhaps, maybe the girl is singing about some old sorrows. Maybe she has got some tragedy in her life, early tragedy in her life, and she's singing about that tragedy. Or maybe she's singing about some battles that was fought long time back. Or maybe she's singing about things that concerns about her everyday life, waking up early in the morning, having so many troubles regularly. Maybe she's singing a song about all those things, but I'm unable to understand the meaning of the song. I'm just guessing. So these are all guesses. Old sorrows, battles, everyday things, things happening in everyday life. He is just guessing that the girl may be singing songs about all these things. The poet even goes on to say that even some suffering, even maybe she is singing some songs of suffering which she has endured, which she has tolerated, faced long time back, and she may again face those sufferings in her future. So the poet is guessing here that maybe she is singing that about her own life, that she had suffered some pain long time back, and she may suffer that pain again in life. All right, we have problems in our life, right? So sometimes we think about so many things. So the poet says that maybe the girl is singing about her past suffering, and she may suffer again. Maybe her lyrics means that. But these are all guesses. He wonders if it is inspired by ancient battles. So the poet again goes on to say that maybe her song is inspired by some old battles, or maybe some tragedies, or maybe something more everyday, perhaps a loss. Maybe she has lost somebody, or maybe she has a kind of grief in her life, sorrow in her life that cannot be stopped, that is inevitable means something that cannot be stopped, like death is inevitable because you cannot stop death from coming, and repeating pattern in life. So basically the poet is guessing all these things, that maybe it is she's singing song about sorrows or battles or about her everyday life, or maybe her singing is inspired by some ancient battles, tragedies that occurred somewhere, or maybe in her own life, or maybe some everyday thing. Perhaps she has lost somebody, maybe she is sad because she does not have any family members. So her song can mean many things, right? Her song may mean many things. The poet is not very sure, but the tune says that is definitely the song is definitely a sad song. From the tune, the poet is quite sure that though I am unable to understand the meaning, but I'm sure that the song of the girl is basically a sad song. And one more thing, let me go back to the slide. You will find the meaning in your textbooks also. Lay means a poem written to be composed as a song. A poem which is written to be composed as a song. See, first what happens when somebody writes a song, that person first of all writes a poem, and then the poem is given to the music director. The music director gives music to it. Okay, so a poem which is basically meant to be sung, that is called a lay. Okay, so even plaintive numbers also here means same thing, song. Okay, right? So the poet is having wild guesses that maybe these are all the subjects about which the song is about. Okay, I hope you have understood this part. Then let us move on to the last stanza, and I'm explaining you in a very brief manner so that you are able to understand the poem. Okay, let's move on. This is the last stanza. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang. Maiden here is the girl. Okay, maiden here is the girl, right? As if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work, and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. Right? Let's move on to the explanation. So now in the third stanza we see that the poet begs the people around to tell him the meaning, but there is nobody who can tell him the meaning of the song. Okay, so he eventually resigns. Resigns means he surrenders, that nobody is going to tell me the meaning. I will never know the meaning of the song. Okay, so he eventually resigns himself to the fact that he may never find out the theme. Theme is the basic understanding of the song. Okay, of her never ending song. Never ending because the girl was continuously singing without stopping, without any pauses. Okay, the girl was continuously singing. That is why the poet says that this girl is the song of the girl is never ending. The girl is not going to end the song, right? And he also surrenders. He says that nobody is going to tell me the meaning. Okay, but the tune of the song has left a very deep impact on the poet. The poet has loved the tune so much that the poet says that I will never ever forget the song, the tune, the melody of the girl, though I am unable to understand the meaning of the song, but the tune will remain remain in my heart, in my soul, in my mind forever. Okay, so nevertheless he asserts that her singing has so captured his imagination that he will bear it in his heart long after it is heard no more. See, after some time the poet has to leave. The poet cannot stay there forever, right? The poet may have gone somewhere for some important work, and the poet was returning to his home, right? So the poet says that I cannot stay here forever. I have to go to my house. My family is waiting for me. So the poet says that since I will have to go, but even if I'm gone, even when I'm gone, I am never going to forget the melody, the song of this highland girl. Okay, so the speaker says that he stood and listened to her song as she continued to work in the valley. So the speaker says that he stood and listened. That means the poet here, he is standing there for a long time, and he is very patiently listening to the song. And the girl is working on her own. The girl does not have any the girl is not watching anywhere. Okay, the girl is simply working on her own. She is not looking anywhere. She is concentrating on her work, and she is continuously singing. Okay, all right. So the girl even does not know that the poet is uh, standing there in the field and listening to her music. And from the poem, it is quite evident also that there's nobody else out there except for the poet, which also means that there is no one else to appreciate to acknowledge, to appreciate the melody, the tune, the song of the girl. It is only the poet who is standing there and who is praising the song, who is praising the tune, though we also know that the poet is unable to understand the meaning of the song. Now it is time for the poet to go home. Okay, the poet has been standing there for a long time, and now it is time for the poet to go home. So the poet, as he moved on and began climbing the hills, so the poet now moves on. Okay, he has to go home now. So as he moved on and began climbing the hills surrounding the valley, he carried the memory of her song with him long after he could actually hear it. So the poet slowly, okay, walks away, and as he walks away, the tune, the melody, the voice of the girl fades away. Okay, it becomes very soft. The voice of the girl becomes very soft. See, it's quite obvious that say somewhere a music is going on, and you are you have stayed there for a long time, and now it is time for you to go to your house. Okay, leave the music halfway and go home, leave the concert or leave the function halfway and go home. So as you go to a distance, okay, as you go to a distance, you will no more hear the music loudly. Okay, you will hear it becoming softer and softer, right? As the distance increases, the sound of the music becomes soft and softer. Okay, so in the same manner, as the poet is moving away, the voice of the girl becomes softer and softer and then softer, and slowly the the song fades away completely, and the song cannot be heard anymore. But even when the poet is at home, say right now the poet is at home, till afternoon, from morning till afternoon, the poet was there standing in the field watching or listening to the girl singing, and now it is evening time or night time, and the poet is sitting at home now, but still the music of the girl, the song of the girl, the tune of that girl, okay, the tune of the song that the girl was singing is still very much active in the mind, in the heart, in the soul of the poet. The poet is unable to forget the tune, the music. And I already told you that the poet did not understand the lyrics. The poet did not understand anything about the lyrics. It is very important to understand the meaning of a song, right? Whenever you hear a song in television, you understand the meaning immediately, because without understanding the meaning, how can you know or how can you have that feeling? But the poet is exceptional. The poet, even without understand the meaning, can appreciate the song of the girl so nicely. Okay, so the poet who is right now maybe sitting in his home, but the music, the tune of the song that the girl was singing, the Highland girl was singing in the field, is there in the mind, is still there, fresh in the mind of the poet. Alright, so this is all about stanza 1 till stanza 4. I hope all of you have understood very well. Okay, and thank you for watching the video. Do share the video, subscribe to the channel, give your likes, okay, and keep watching my videos, and also press the bell icon so that whenever I upload any new video, you get notifications immediately. Alright, so thank you so much and all the best.